Friends, Apple has finally introduced its brand new iPhone 17. But the surprising fact is that immediately after the launch, the company's stock dropped by nearly 3.2%. Now, this percentage may look small, but remember, we're talking about a company whose total market value is almost $3.4 trillion, which means in a single day, Apple lost around $111 billion. And this situation clearly shows that Apple is slowly moving towards decline. The main reason? Just one, greed. Once upon a time, Apple was recognized for its innovation, technology and premium products. But today, decisions are no longer in the hands of engineers and designers. Rather, they are taken by business-minded executives whose only goal is profit, whether the product improves or not. That's why, for the last 6-7 years, we've been watching Apple relaunching the same old iPhone design with only minor tweaks every year. Meanwhile, companies like Samsung, Xiaomi, and Vivo have been working on concept phones, foldables, and AI technologies. Apple, however, is avoiding risks and only chasing profit. This is exactly the kind of attitude that once destroyed giants like Nokia, HTC, and BlackBerry. And now, Apple seems to be walking down the same path. From 2020 to 23, Apple was the most valuable company in the world. But today in 2025, it has slipped to third place, behind Nvidia and Microsoft. The reasons are clear: overpriced phones, lack of real innovation, endless lawsuits, and a defensive approach. Even in the US alone, Apple's market share has dropped by 56%. If this is the situation inside its own home ground, then just imagine what must be happening worldwide. In regions like South America, the Middle East, and Asia, people who once proudly used iPhones are now switching to Samsung, Xiaomi, Huawei, and Google Pixel. Why? Because these companies are bringing fresh innovations at far cheaper prices. Apple, on the other hand, has been promising AI integration for over 2 years, but its digital assistant Siri still struggles to understand tasks, often gives incorrect results, and lacks major improvements. In recent years, Apple has only shifted the camera placement and made phones slightly thinner, or launched new colors and labeled that as innovation. Features Apple is promoting today are things Samsung offered 8 to 10 years ago. It feels like Apple's old slogan, "Think different," has now changed into "Do not think." That's why investors are also losing hope, openly saying Apple can't keep up anymore. Instead of innovating, Apple has been focusing on products like a $3,000 VR headset that almost nobody asked for. Its main product, the iPhone, has been sidelined. Customers no longer see any reason to upgrade because spending $800 to $1,800 on a new model feels meaningless. Smarter people are simply refreshing their older phones with cheaper fixes. The remaining buyers purchase iPhones only as a status symbol, not for actual features. Of course, some loyal users remain tied to Apple due to its ecosystem. For example, someone using a MacBook, an Apple Watch, and AirPods together finds it very convenient and won't leave Apple so easily. But the truth is, the purpose of a smartphone company is not only to sell devices, but also to give people a real reason to upgrade. Many people don't know this, but in the 1990s, Apple came very close to bankruptcy. At that time, it was producing dull computers that looked more like hospital machines. Then Steve Jobs returned and revived the company with groundbreaking innovations like the iPhone, iPad, and AirPods. The first iPhone, a phone without buttons, turned every other handset in the market into a calculator. Apple brought the first big-screen iPad, which the world quickly adopted. AirPods 2 became a massive hit. By 2011, every new Apple product was setting global trends. But after Steve Jobs' death in 2011, Tim Cook took charge. Instead of focusing on big innovations, He concentrated on supply chain efficiency and profit maximization. Products became slightly better, but the spark of creativity faded. Apple started charging developers a 30% cut on apps. It also hyped up its so-called Apple Intelligence feature last year, the feature that in reality won't even be functional until 2026. Meanwhile, companies like Microsoft, Nvidia, and OpenAI have already used AI to become the world's top tech giants. Apple today is still busy making phones thinner or repainting them, while the market has already moved to triple-folding phones. AI, however, is not like hardware that you can buy from someone else and just fit in. It's a learning system that improves only with wide usage. Google's Gemini is free, available to everyone, and constantly improving by learning from billions of searches and chats. But Apple has restricted AI to its flagship models and future plans, which means it's already falling behind in the AI race. And as we all know, AI is going to become an essential part of future life. If Apple can't catch up, nobody will use its system. Right now, Apple is earning only from its brand legacy, not from genuine innovation. It's like trying to milk the same cow over and over again, and that cow is the iPhone. The rule of the world is simple. Whoever doesn't change with time gets left behind by time. If Apple doesn't once again bring in a visionary like Steve Jobs as CEO, then no one will be able to save it from the fate of Nokia. And Apple's current stock performance is loudly telling us that shifting the camera from here to there won't work anymore. Now the real question is, what do you think? Share your opinion in the comment section below. Thanks for watching and goodbye.